Hey, Cardinals fans, welcome back to the Redbird Rundown, presented by I-70 Sports, your home for all things St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Jonathan, here with Matt today, and we would love if you would share our Spotify and Apple links with your friends. Very quickly, they can be found on Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter. You're not going to be able to watch us this week on YouTube, but you can go back and listen to other shows. But today, we're going to deep dive the kind of shocking news that Willson Contreras was traded. We're going to get into what we got in the return, how this move reshapes our infield going forward, and then we want to look back at the time of old Crazy Willie in St. Louis and see what we think. But ultimately, before we get into all of that, Matt, it's Christmas week.
It is.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your vibe check this week?
My vibe check is time is cooking, and it is amazing from last year to this year. We've had this podcast for a little bit more than a year now. How much different I feel about the Cardinals and the direction of the franchise and all of that just within 365 days, because
100%.
I was so over. I guess it was a good realization to think how over the past regime I was, and now everything is good. So it does make me sad that Willie's gone, but I'm ready for him to do this like 4 more times this offseason too.
I totally agree. And as we were thinking last week, because we ended that pod, you said when I was listening back that, well, maybe Chaim will wrap us up a gift.
I sure did.
And put it under the tree. And I thought Chaim gave us a gift.
He did.
That's my vibe check. He gave us a gift. And of the big names that were supposed to be traded this offseason, I didn't think this is the order it would go.
No, not at all.
I did not think Willie was going to be really the second name to go, other than Sonny. And
do you think Donnie would be next?
I thought it would be Donnie. I knew it wasn't going to be Arenado.
No, that's going to be.
But I sort of thought JoJo.
Okay.
Because he does have some real value.
He does.
But then bullpen guys have odd value.
Yeah.
Like Pete Fairbanks signed for like a kind of a low deal, I think, with the Marlins, but he was good last year.
Yeah.
So maybe relievers are just kind of odd, but I just thought that was so funny that Chaim did that. Not 10 minutes after we got off there. It was just so funny.
Who knows? We're recording today on the 26th, so we'll look out, Cardinals Nation. If you see something happen tonight on Friday night, it's us at the Redbird Rundown.
That's exactly right. So let's get into what we did here. So Willie gets traded to Boston, and I'm not surprised anymore at this point that we just trade with Boston.
No, apparently that's all we can do.
Because I kind of feel like he has a rapport with those guys.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm thinking like the winter meetings, he's probably talking to all of the teams, but then also he's probably talking to Breslow like, hey, if nothing works out, you want.
Okay, so I said this a couple of pods ago. I sports hate the Red Sox. So I kind of hate, I like Sonny Gray. I like Willson Contreras. I kind of hate that they're at the Monster. But on the other hand, the Red Sox also have to be in the position to want to do this, and they are in the unique position to want to do this. So it is a lot of. I've seen so many memes of like I saw somebody meme like the St. Louis arch behind the Green Monster, and like obviously it's not going to go that far, but it's got to fit too. And he's not just doing this just to do it. The Red Sox, so they're also in a position where they want these guys.
Well, and it's unique too because I think both the Sonny trade, and now the Willie trade, it makes sense for them. And it makes sense for us.
Yes.
This is not like, oh, Chaim fleeced him.
No.
It's like, this makes sense.
Right.
I mean, if you look at, the Mets backfilled Alonso with George Polanco.
Yeah.
2 years, $40 million. Willie, in all statistical measures, is as good as him, if not better, and he's on a cheaper deal. So if you're a Red Sox fan, and I hate to say this, you're not looking too bad right now.
No, and that AL East division's a monster,
Oh
so
my
they
gosh.
just have to keep doing and keep going, and they are. So the Orioles, so the Yankees, the Rays are stockpiling their system for another run.
And then Toronto looks ridiculous. So.
Thank God for the NL Central.
Wow, that's exactly right. Okay, so what did the Red Sox get? Obviously, they got Willson, but they also got $8 million in cash, which seems to be, if Chaim is like a robber, like in the Ocean's movie, the little fox.
Yes.
Chaim's calling card is to give them money.
Yes, he's doing it. He's getting DeWitt to do it, and it's shocking every time it happens.
And it seems like now that he's done this 2 times, $8 million is obviously less than the 20 that we gave with Sonny. We're paying for a prospect, is what it feels like.
Yes.
Is that if this was, for the Cardinal fans out there, if it was just Willie for whatever, another player like
I think I know who we paid for down here, but we'll get there in a minute.
Right. I think it would just be less. It'd be a 1 for 2 or something like that. We wouldn't have got the third guy thrown in there if we didn't give him the cash.
Yeah.
So I think it's purposeful.
I keep thinking in the background, too, like Bloom keeps convincing the DeWitts to throw in money And that has to be such an odd dynamic.
Yeah.
Because we heard for so many years that Mo and DeWitt were on the same page and really liked each other. And there's some strength in that. I think that's a good thing. Bloom basically got this job through a presentation telling us how our organization sucked and was behind. And so that dynamic just has to be different. And so here we are paying out all this money. We're going to do it for Arenado too if he's able to trade him. Like that's coming.
We
sure.
are, and we hammered the DeWitts on here rightfully
sure,
so.
Yeah.
For a lot of things.
They deserve it. Yeah.
But it feels like for whatever reason you pick whichever reason you want to, they are actually listening to this now.
Yes, they are.
Where Heim has said we need to do this kind of quickly. The antithesis of Mo with his patience, which is why we're kicking in now $28 million just out the door to get rid of guys that have some value.
Yes.
So it's so good to see that we're actually picking a direction here. Heim has convinced them to do this, and maybe that's no one showing up basically the last 2 years. I don't know. There's something, and Heim
they bought in on the rebuild or something.
Gotten him to do that. So before we get back to what the Red Sox gave us, which is pretty exciting, we thought it would be nice to, kind of like we did with Sonny, look back at Wilson's tenure as a Cardinal. We got him, I believe, in the offseason of 2022. This is after Yachty retired.
Yes.
Right? So that's big shoes to fill.
It is.
And he came in. It was kind of a big free agency signing, 5 years. I
think $80 million. Yeah.
That's a pretty big dollar amount,
especially
for Willie.
For us. Yeah.
Especially as there were questions with him coming in and his catching ability in general.
Yeah, well, we saw that play out. Yeah. Yeah.
So before I get into any of my thoughts, Matt, do you have any just overarching thoughts about Willie, his tenure here, his signing, anything?
I do have a few things written down, but I think the place we have to start is we basically signed this guy to be an above average good MLB hitter, and he was his entire time here.
Yep.
He wasn't never elite, but we were not paying him elite level money. But that was a contract, and this is one of those things that the Cardinals, and as we see in the future as we're rebuilding, we have got to hit these bigger contracts. Yep. And we really hit this one with Willie. He posted, 120, 130, 140 WRC plus all the time. Had some injury stuff happen to him, which, that he took that bat off the forearm. Some of it's just absolutely not his fault in any way, shape, or form at all. Yeah. But I think that's got to be where it starts, is he was one of the better right-handed hitters in the game while he was here. And so, think of what our team would have been without him. Right.
I did over 3 years. I did kind of a deep dive since Willie was here, and it's pretty amazing that he was our second best, basically in every category. If you look over 3 years, he hit 261, 358, 459, 55 home runs, 183 RBIs, 75 doubles, 173 runs, 129 WRC plus. And he's worth 8.2 WAR, which was the best over a 3-year span. This includes pretty much a decent Arenado and a decent Goldschmidt in that first 2023 year. So again, if you go through all those statistics, he was basically number 2 in all of them, and he had the most WAR. From a contract perspective, they nailed this.
They did.
He came here to be a hitter, and he did that. There's some defensive questions. There were defensive questions coming in. Yep. It wasn't like that was a surprise. So from that perspective, I loved the signing. I thought he nailed it. I thought he came in and he was the guy. I thought it was actually pretty impressive that he transitioned from catching to first so seamlessly.
Yes, he really did.
Because as you see other guys, first base is not an easy position to play.
No.
Now, I do think, though, just stepping back when he first signed, I think he was dealt sort of an unfair hand to be the heir apparent to Yachty here. You're going to fill in his shoes. He wasn't a great catcher. He was never known for being a great catcher. And I thought all that stuff, if you remember, with Flaherty,
terrible,
and the starters were throwing him under the bus, and Marmol took him out of the starting lineup.
Terrible.
And honestly, I hate to say the word crazy, I don't mean that as in a derogatory way, but Willie's a little eccentric, right? To say
he's
an
emotional man.
He's very emotional, but I never saw him handle that in anything other than an utmost professional way. You didn't hear him complain at all.
Nope.
He took the demotion to basically be a DH. Ivan caught, Pages caught. He was fine with it. He continued to truck on, and I think that could have been really messy for us and he handled it. I mean, he was just getting insulted every day.
Oh my God. Well, I think it was messy for us.
Yeah.
And he's the only adult
Yep.
that had his broom and his dustpan cleaning it up. And that is the first thing I wrote down about him was consummate professional. Because you're right, they bullied him out of the position he plays his entire career. And this is like an all-star catcher. This is not some also ran. Granted, his first offense, but still. But you're right. He stayed committed to the team. There was not this offseason, but the offseason prior. Yep. No, I don't want to exercise my trade. I'm going to exercise my no trade clause. I want to be here. I want to build here. I want to do this. He would talk smack about the Cubs, which I love that.
I do too.
As a Cardinals fan. So I just got to think that kind of stuff is not an act. That's just who he is. Like he gets in on something and he's there. So I was incredibly impressed from that standpoint with Willie.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, I had written down that he's so aggressive.
Yeah.
And his aggressiveness leads to some errors, base running errors that were just mind numbing at times. Right. But he was easy to love being a Cardinal.
Yes.
You see him on another team and you're like, oh boy, he's like Dylan Brooks. If you follow the NBA, kind of like a career guy that rubs you the wrong way and he grinds on you and says things. But we needed that, I think, at times. We've never really had a guy like that that I can think of off the top of my head.
Especially the Goldie and Arenado, just milk toast, no personality.
Silent leader thing. I mean, obviously, it's him going completely bananas this last year and hitting the guru in the face with a bat and throwing the high chew. And
a little bit too far there, but you
little
like
bit
the
too
passion.
far. But think about this. I immediately went here. The first game against Boston. Or Boston and New York. Like in Boston, he gets hit by a pitch.
Oh.
He's going to go out there with a couple of knives and just go to town on these people. He's just built for that.
And
He's
those guys
thrive.
in the stands are going to be like, Willie, we love you. They'll love Contreras.
They're gonna love
really
him.
will.
And he should, as far as I can tell, when I was looking at these last 3 years, like you can look over the trends, you don't see like a cliff imminently coming.
Nope.
Now, I know that that's hard to predict. No one would have predicted Arenado's just complete inability to hit ever again. But Willie, I think, is going to continue to produce. And the contract is not going to age poorly.
Nope.
And he may yet get another one after this if he's going to still produce, I don't know, 2, 2.2, 1.8 WAR. Those guys are not easy to come by at that position.
Well, Fenway is going to help his offense more than Bush did.
He's going to bang doubles off the wall.
Oh, yes.
Constantly.
He absolutely is. I think the unfortunate thing about Willie's tenure is I think he basically got T-boned through an intersection coming to the Cardinals. Like there's the whole catching thing, first base. They tried him in left field. Like they were having him shag balls in the outfield. That whole thing was insane.
Yeah.
But then this happened a little bit too to Goldie and Arenado. He just showed up in the wrong era. Yeah. And this happened obviously with all of our good players this past 5 years or so, is if he's in those 2011 to 2015, if he's in our jersey and not the Cubs jersey, I mean, again, he's in a red jacket. Yep. He's even more beloved than he is. So it's just really unfortunate that I feel like he put his best foot forward and the franchise did not put their best foot forward. And it's just really frustrating and sad that that's the way it ended for him here.
It is. And I know that Cardinal Nation will probably, I don't want to say mourn. That feels like he's, deceased, which he's still very much alive.
Right.
But I think they'll mourn him leaving. I think people really liked Willie. He was a name that people would remember. When you'd see the broadcast pan across the crowd, there's a lot of Willie jerseys.
Yes, absolutely.
So he was pretty popular. I think that I'm glad, though, that we have done this. It felt like this is the relationship that needed to end. He said publicly he wanted to stay, be a part of the rebuild. I respect that. I really do. He said he signed up to be here. You do hear a lot of guys say, well, I ultimately signed up to win. This place isn't going to win. Right. That's what Sonny said, and I didn't even necessarily hate him for that. Right. It's his honest answer. That's okay with me.
Agree.
Willie said he wanted to sign on, but I also feel good for this for him.
Yes.
Boston will be a contender next year. He's going to fill a massive void, too. It's not like there's going to be a competition at first base.
No.
He's going to go play.
Yep.
And just to let you know, Boston fans, he's not going to hit for the first month.
Yes, you're going to hate it.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
And you're going to think, what have we done? And then you're going to look.
Then July, August, September, he's going to be scorching the monster.
You're going to think, how is he hitting 260? He was batting negative 30. It's because he's been hitting 400 the past 2 months. So you'll have fun with that. Okay. Yeah. Any other last thoughts on Willie before we move on to what the heck do we do at first base?
No, I just think it's the same thing as Gray. If we were still a team that was projected to win 90 to 95 games and be in the hunt, I would love to have Sonny Gray. I would love to have Willson Contreras. Yeah. But again, this has been my answer for a year now. It's just where we're at as a franchise. Willson Contreras doesn't fit. And so this, to your point, we found a good home for him. I hate Boston, but we found a good home for him, a competitive home for him. So I'm happy for him. I'm sad for us. But this breakup is like fueling the flames of our reascent, I think. And we'll get there in a minute.
Absolutely. And that's where I do want to transition to what do we do at first base first in 2026 and beyond. But before I break into that, doesn't it feel awesome that it feels like Heim is listening to what we think? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like these things that we think are not original.
No.
It seems like this is the
fan
clear
base
writing on the wall.
Crying out for, like, the people who pay attention to this is what they want. And obviously he's not doing it because it's what we want. He's doing it because this is what we should be doing.
But it feels like in a modern sport, it doesn't matter the four big ones. You have a window.
Yeah.
And when the window closes, you kind of need to tear it down, stock back up, fill your holes with free agency. It's no different, really, at all.
No.
This is the same thing. It's so clear that when we were filling our third, fourth, fifth rotation guys with $12 to $15 million veterans who didn't have anything left, those were the signs that this is over.
That era is over.
It's over. Yeah. And now it's like Heim has come in here and has just like sprinkled the kerosene on the grass and is just back there laughing while he lights it. And it feels good that he's doing this.
I have no doubts that Bloom will get us back to a place where our window is back open. I have no doubts about that whatsoever.
Yep.
What I'll be interested in, this is a conversation for way on down the road, is can he permanently crack open the window like Sam Presti has for the Oklahoma City Thunder? Can he do something like that, where you look what the Thunder have now and you look what the Thunder have in the cupboard, and you're just like, my God, that would be amazing if he could do that.
Or to take it into a baseball sense, you know how like Dave Dombrowski on the Phillies, he's gone to multiple different teams.
True.
And he has basically said, I'm going to take you from getting close to we're going to sign Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Schwarber. Now, he's got to have an owner that does that. But he's done that at multiple stops, including, I think, Boston.
He's also traded the entire pantry. All the kids. That's his move. And that's really fun for a few years. I'm hopeful that Bloom can do something more sustainable for us.
And I was going to say, I don't want that for St. Louis.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want us to have this sustainable winner. Because people are like, oh, is he going to turn us into Tampa? Oh, I hope he turns us into Tampa.
Yes.
Please.
Tampa with more financial resources sounds great.
Absolutely. So, okay, we're off that rabbit hole there, although I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, it was good.
So, what are we doing next year for first base in 2026? What do you think?
Well, this is the easiest answer we've got. I mean, it's Alec Burleson is going to get the run at first base. He's going to get all the games at first base. I mean, wherever his days off are going to be his days off. There is going to be no competition. He's just going to come into spring training as the first baseman. I think that is for sure 2026. Yep. Now, if you ask me after that, I still think everything is up in the air with Bloom. And if Burley produces, I think he'll be there. I think if he doesn't produce, I think we could do something, you know?
I need to. And I thought to myself, now that Burley's out of the outfield, and we just need to stop here and say, admirable job out there.
Sure. You did what you had to do to keep your bat in the lineup.
Yes. He like lost weight and took better routes. And honestly was a serviceable outfield. Now, Tony La Russa on one of the broadcasts was like, is that Larry Walker out there? Now, we do need to get him some spectacles.
Yeah.
Because Larry Walker was something to behold.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Exactly. Burleson did everything he was asked to do to keep his bat in the lineup because it was really crucial for us over those years.
Yeah.
So he's going to play it first. There's no question. I just wonder now, you can flip him to DH at times. If this Ivan experiment goes south, which I really do think it's going to, and I don't want to manifest that, but history doesn't necessarily change. It often repeats itself. And
I still just don't want him catching. He's going to get hurt.
Yes.
Bat as much. I just don't want it.
I just wonder in this, and I don't want to call this a lost season already, because I don't believe it is, because there's going to be some prove it time for these guys. Does Ivan get 30 games over there, 40 games over there to just kind of figure it out? Because I don't know if Burleson has enough thump to be your first baseman for 6 years.
Yeah.
And sometimes I battle with myself here because, like, does that matter? Because Burleson is a legitimate major league hitter.
He is.
And you need him in your lineup, whether he's at first or in left field. Do you still, like, bow down to these old adages that you need a thumper at third and a thumper at first? Ivan is a thumper, and he could hit 30 home runs. I'm not sure Burley could hit 30. Do we care? I just want to keep Ivan safe.
Yes.
I want to wrap him up. I want to deliver him out there in the field.
Yeah.
Does that eventually happen? That's where my mind goes. 26 is Burley. There's no question. I am actually excited to see that because I do think defensively he will not be a -10
No,
war.
I think he can do it over there.
He can do it. I just wonder if that's starting to tick around in their brain that this could be an Yvonne destination.
Yep.
Or eventually a Ron Ayel's destination. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But I think the answer is Burley for 2026. And they may throw some interesting stuff in there with Yvonne, but you're going to see him a lot there.
We're going to absolutely see him a lot. I also think if we're talking further than 2026, Nolan Gorman's name, I think, is in this. Let's say he finally figures it out offensively, and they're going to, at some point, Sajasi is going to get a run to see what he can do. And I think that Sajasi is a better defender than Gorman, so I think you could see Gorman at first. I think he's just in the mix here as far as that goes. The funny thing to me about doing essentially Willie for Burley at first, I don't really think we're any worse off at all. In fact, I think Willie and Burley are kind of similar hitters. Burley, and they're both more doubles guys than they are homers guys. And Burley's going to have a much higher average than Willie did. So I'd say Willie's probably got a little bit more power, and Burley's got a little bit better bat-to-ball skills. But I think for our team for 2026, this does not make us worse at all.
And I think, too, you know how we contemplated and speculated this last year that the jump Willie would make behind the plate to first base would help his offensive game?
Yes.
And I think if you looked,
with that.
We thought it would be better because he was touting all this weight he had gained. And it was good. He was marginally better, but it was right within his career average of just continuing to still be pretty good. Does that change for Burley? This is no joke. Does jogging out to left field or right field instead of first base, does it affect you? I mean, Mookie Betts changed positions because he was tired of running in the outfield. He ain't no Mookie Betts.
Nope,
you know what I'm saying?
He's not.
But you just never know. So I'm excited to see what they do there. And I do agree with you. First base is very wide open for the future. Whoever pops off, whoever decides to hit, I think he could supplant Burleson, and you could put Burley back in the outfield if you really wanted to. It just feels good that a piece of it, one log of the jam has been removed, and you feel at least more comfortable. You see Burley with a pin next to first base, you're like, this is great. I'm fine with that.
If the only thing that Heim gets done this year is unlogging all of our jams, then he will have earned every cent of his salary, truly.
I agree with you. Unlogging the jam. I like that. All right. Let's get to what we got back, which I'm really excited for, truthfully. So we got 3 players. Hunter Dobbins, which he's a major leaguer. He's pitching right now. Joyker Fajardo?
Joyker Fajardo.
That's a name. Awesome name. I'll tell you that. He was their 23rd best prospect. And then Blake Ayata.
Sure, we can go with that.
Yep. I don't know. A-I-T-A. You determine how that is pronounced. Listen.
Aida? Something like that.
Okay. Let's start with Dobbins at the top. I'll give you a quick little rundown of who he is. He's 26 years old. He's had some injury history. He's had an elbow thing. He hurt his ACL again this last year, covering kind of a weird play at first. So he's recovering, but apparently he's going to be back. I think they posted some video where he was already throwing, and I think he's going to be there for spring training, which is cool.
Yep.
He has a pretty large repertoire of pitches. Fastball, slider, curve, sweeper, throws a splitter too. It's kind of all over the board on Baseball Savant. In 2025, he threw 61 innings. Again, he's a starter, but he got hurt. 4.13 ERA, 3.87 FIP, and my favorite thing to look at is the pitching plus, which is, again, normalized at 100, is 104, so he's just above league average. I have some other stats here, but I'll throw it over to you, Matt. That was kind of the quick little rundown on Dobbins. What do you feel about this being the major league headliner coming back?
Yeah, you know what's funny is I think I can kind of tell what Bloom is doing on these trades. Hunter Dobbins is the answer to Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson. Lance Lynn's $12 million. Kyle Gibson's $12 million. Hunter Dobbins is on a rookie deal. He's probably about the same level of effectiveness as those guys. He'll probably be a little bit better than them. But this is the difference between stocking your rotation and every guy's $12 million versus having young guys that can throw. So I think Dobbins will throw. I think he will be in the starting rotation to begin the year. And he may, who knows, he may pop. Yeah. That slider you were mentioning has got a 104 pitch plus. The curveball is a 107 pitch plus. The location is a 105, right? So there are some tools here. He's not going to be like the overpowering Cy Young, under 3 ERA guy. This is not what we got here, but this is a guy that we can plug into this rotation who will give us innings. He did tear his ACL. He's already throwing. I saw his Twitter account. He's already doing his throwing program. So I think this is one of those like high floor, low ceiling. He's just a guy to plug in. Is that what you get, or you think there's more in there?
I agree, and this makes people like Palante
Yes.
feel like it doesn't hinge upon him.
Correct.
If Palante's good, it's like that helps us. If he's bad, it's like, hey, Dobbins is here, Fitz is here.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows who we're going to get back in these future trades? You're 100% right. If you look back at the Lance Lynn's, the Kyle Gibsons, some of those type of players, this guy's a million times cheaper.
Yes.
And can do that and has upside. And I don't want to say that those two didn't have upside. This guy's, he's young. Mm-hmm. He's not at the twilight of his career. This is the sunrise of his career. He's starting to come up. He's actually healthy. And here's the biggest thing. He's not ARB eligible until 2028.
Yes, 6 years of control is huge.
It's massive. And I was looking through some of his stuff, and it's not like, the only word I can think of, it's not sexy, right? Yeah. He's not like, man, look at him blowing that fastball by the guy. But if you look through all of his minor leagues, he had a mid-3 FIP.
Yep.
I will take that all day long. If you were a prospect and had a mid-3 FIP through every level, no wonder he's in the major leagues at 26, feeling pretty good about himself, right? He also has an elite barrel percentage, and I like to look at this one too, especially at Busch Stadium and our elite defense. That elite barrel percentage is they're making contact, but they're never squaring it up. Good movement. That speaks to your high pitching plus numbers. There's a lot of stuff on these things. These guys are not squaring this up. We have an elite defense. We do, especially up the middle. That's going to play well from that perspective, and at Busch Stadium that suppresses all kinds of home runs and large contact. He may be even better pitching at Busch Stadium than he was throughout the NL East, or the AL East, I'm sorry. So, with all that being said, I think he makes a play for the rotation.
Oh, for sure.
I don't see why he wouldn't. Sure. There's no reason. There's nobody stopping him. I think we have some decisions to make. Ollie has some decisions to make, and Dusty Blake in spring training, but I think they love it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we have gotten both guys in the Dobbins Fitz mold that are right here ready. And if somebody's got to go sit in AAA for a little while, somebody's probably going to get injured. They have essentially covered this gap between our major league ready rotation in Quinn Matthews. And if they think Quinn Matthews needs a whole nother year or something, well, now we've got guys. So I think if you're looking for what the Cardinals really want in pitching, they want that K rate to be elite. Hunter Dobbins does not have an elite K rate. It's right around league average, or honestly a little bit below. So this is more in the mold of, like, I hate to say this, but this is more in the mold of like a McGreevy kind of thing. But he is better at the soft contact. So again, I don't think he is the major league ready portion of this. I do not think he is the headliner of this trade. No. But I think we can plug him in. He can pitch. We've got to get innings for 2026. And this guy's going to give us innings. And who knows? Maybe there's some development and some growth there.
And you were saying the elite strikeout stuff is not necessarily there. You got to pony up for that. That's why we're trying to develop it.
Yes.
Developing it is way cheaper than trying to trade for it. If someone trades for someone like Paul Skeens, this is a horrible example because he is a 1A pitcher in the league. Yeah. It is going to take a mountain of things to get him, and they're going to have to pay him a mountain of money.
Correct.
You didn't have to do that for Dobbins. Dobbins is going to give you innings that do not cost you a ton of money as you're going. Look at all the money we're paying out.
Correct.
We can't sign all of these dudes. So I love this for the 2026 season.
So when we're ready to build with these cheap young arms, there is going to be 2 years down the road, there is going to be, to use a Mo term, payroll muscle to actually do some stuff in free agency, because we're not having to pay $60 million for a rotation. Our rotation is inexpensive, meaning we can supplement where we need to. This is a much better model for us.
And I don't think you can ever have enough of these guys. I hate to feel like I'm reiterating with these, you can never have enough arms. It is true.
Oh, you're right.
There will inevitably be an injury, or this could even be a filler in another trade. You never know.
Correct.
If you just got to keep your powder dry and fire it off whenever you're ready, and he might be another trade. Who knows?
Same thing. Haim is stocking arms here. He really is.
All right, so let's move to, I'm thinking, the headliner of this.
This is my headliner.
This is the $8 million, I believe we probably got.
Yeah.
And that's the Joiker Fajardo. Again, he was the 23rd ranked prospect for the Red Sox. The Red Sox have a pretty good farm system.
He was 23rd last year. Yeah. He would be way up their list this year.
And he's also jumped into being, I think, our 9th prospect.
Correct.
Which is I don't know if that's good or bad for us that he jumped so high into ours versus them being low.
I just think he got traded right on the cusp of when those lists would have changed anyway.
Okay.
So I think he'd have been way up Boston's list, and so he's way up our list. But the fact that we're going to talk about this guy, and he's one of these electricity out of his arm guys, and he's ninth for us, that speaks very well of our system right now.
He's ninth, and here's the part that kills me. He's 19.
He's 19 years old.
19 years old. So here you go. 2025. He's in low A. 51 and a third innings pitched. 2.98 ERA, 2.50 FIP with a 10.34 K per nine.
Speak it to me.
It's here's the thing. Okay. At this level in the minor leagues, it's hard to get publicly posted data that's solid.
Correct.
To get into the real nitty-gritty. This is why you have to depend upon some of these grades, these prospect grades on their pitches. His slider is a 50-60.
Mm-hmm.
As we've talked about, 80 is the highest. You love to see stuff like that. That's likely why his K percentage is so high, is he's got a really good slider, and he throws hard as P.
Yes.
Right? He's just going to throw the crap out of the ball, and that is what we want. So, Matt, let me hear your thoughts on our 19-year-old here coming back.
Oh, man, this is so exciting. So, again, let me reiterate. It seems like to me, Bloom, and I'm not saying that he'll do this in every trade, but the archetypal Bloom trade is, let's get a guy that's major league ready. Let's get an absolute firecracker, and then if we can get something else, we'll get something else. You said the slider's good. The slider's excellent. The changeup is excellent.
I love the changeup.
And what I love about that is the changeup is the weapon against lefties when he gets up into the majors as a right-handed pitcher. So this guy is set and ready. This is how you go 2.98 ERA, 2.5 FIP, because you can get guys on both sides of the plate out. The fastball is hard. It's electric. He's 19 years old. There are so many steps between where he is now and where he could be for us in the future. And at any point, that development could get derailed. But Joyker Fajardo and Brandon Clark and the guys already in our system and Liam Doyle, and we are just stockpiling guys. Tanner Franklin, we could probably just sit here and say Ishan Henderson, right? Braden Davis. We're just stockpiling guys with huge K numbers. And so the issue is not, is Joyker going to make it or not? But God, I hope Joyker makes it. Can you imagine Joyker Fajardo? I just hope so bad that he makes it. It's just the fact that we have this tidal wave of K per nine coming from the minors, and that is what's going to change this franchise. So he just slots right in at 19 years old with a lot of the rest of these guys. He is extremely exciting to me.
He is, and oftentimes you'll hear people say oh, this is a lottery ticket thrown in, meaning he has a chance to hit and hit big, or it just doesn't really matter. He fizzles out. He was 19. It is what it is. I love stuff like this because it gives you the opportunity to believe that he can be something. And I know I was gonna talk about. I was
gonna say he's like a lottery ticket with 4 of the numbers scratched off already.
Exactly. He's right there, right? And that's what's beautiful is he has a chance to be a starter. A lot of these guys at this level, if they have his high K rate, they don't have enough pitches. We don't know what he's gonna be. If you read any prospect report for these guys, he's got the tools. Let's see if he puts it together. This is the thing about him being 19 and he's already doing it in low A. The tools are already out there and being displayed that he can get guys out. This is, in my opinion, and I think you share this was the headliner for this deal.
Agree.
And we may look in 3, 4, 5 years, who knows, an X amount of time and think, you remember we traded Willie for this?
Yes,
and
exactly.
This is Sandy Alcantara.
Exactly.
I mean that. It could be something at that level where we look back and think, God, Willie, you just helped us all the way to the very end.
This is why I love people like him.
Yep.
He does not profile as Hunter Dobbins.
Nope.
He profiles in the future as something the Cardinals do not have.
Yep.
And that's what we need to keep taking shots at. So does Brandon Clark. So does Liam Doyle. So does Tanner Franklin. So do these guys with huge K punch. They're some upper tier of prospect, upper tier of developmental capability that we just have not had. And so it is exciting that we have 6 of these guys in the minors.
It is. And this is the thing about stockpiling a lot of them is if they don't work out, not all of them work out, you're not just totally bereft of talent like we have been the last couple of years.
Bereft.
Just completely gone. and that's what's exciting too is that you stockpile these dudes and you just never know what's going to happen. And this is where, if you're Boston, you trade this guy because you don't need him right now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need him right now. You need Willie right now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of these where you could think back, we're looking at it positively, and you're like, Oh my gosh! Like when we
Like
traded
Marcell Ozuna. Yes.
Don't say that name here.
Yes.
You look back and you think, oh, Ozuna would have been great for us, and it would have worked out perfectly, and it did not.
Boy, we could have had
You know what I mean?
Alcantara and Gallen.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
So needless to say, and this is no offense to Hunter Dobbins or Blake here.
Right.
This is what I'm hyped about.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
hyped about him. I think he's going to come in, and I can't wait to follow that name next year.
Correct.
What did he do in this outing or this outing? And what hypes me up the most, I can't even talk about Blake. I got to talk about this point real quick.
Okay, yeah, please.
Okay. All of these pitching prospects were accumulating, and it's been a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's now a foundation for them. And I've said this in a couple podcasts, but it makes me feel so good that they're going to go talk to Matt Pierpont. They're going to go talk to Larry Day. They're going to get a plan together, because I tell you, if there's one thing Heim loves is a dang plan. Strategy. What can we do to make you better? And these guys already have the raw talent and ability, and now there's a foundation for them. And I don't feel like Joyker is going to turn into Dylan Carlson or Jordan Walker, where they flounder. And I don't know if that's because of our lack of player development, but that is all we've talked about the last couple months. And that's all Heim has done. And it feels good that these guys have a spot now where I feel like they will succeed or can succeed.
That's a great point, in that we're getting all these that we can throw against the wall and see who sticks. And it feels like for so long in the Cardinals franchise that like the Brendan Donovans succeed not because of, but in spite of the player development. What if we have a player development system that is because of? I mean, my God, what if 5 of these guys hit? You know what I mean? They were talking about like trades, and we are trading from our stockpile of arms, like crazy stuff that we haven't done in years and years and years and years and years.
And we go back to assuming the Brewers role.
Yes,
and the Rays role. That was
us. Exactly.
You look back at our glory days, as you have said.
Martinez, the Waka, the Lance Lynn when he was young, all that.
Those guys all had long. I mean, Waka's still the Royals, one of their better pitchers.
I think that's coming again. I really do.
And it feels like we're back to that and needed to reset our eyes. And Heim is the perfect guy for that.
He is.
The Tampa model is what we need in this environment.
Yep.
And I can't wait to get back to those things, because if you remember, do you remember when the Cubs won in 2016? And I remember those years.
You don't have to ask me if I remember. Horrific. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It felt like, oh my gosh, they haven't even called up Ian Happ.
Exactly.
And I can't wait for us to be like, Braden Davis has a 12 K per 9 in AAA, and we ain't got a spot for him.
And Joker Fajardo is still in AA. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, Fajardo's coming out to be the bullpen catcher because we don't have a spot for him. That's what I'm looking forward to. Is that right there? Okay, let's talk about Blake. And Blake, I'm just going to not say your last name because Blake is a lot easier, and I don't want to butcher it, my friend.
Okay, that's fair.
He's 22 years old. He pitched in low A and high A last year. He had 115 and a third innings, 3.98 ERA, 4.10 FIP. Again, I love the old 50-60 slider. There, again, not a ton of information. He was a starter. In my eye, this is just another guy that has the potential to be something. He's thrown innings, and you see 115 innings. That's a lot of innings in the minor leagues.
It is.
Okay. So again, revert back to my point about we have the player development. There is no telling what we can see with these things and think, oh, if we give this pitcher this pitch, he might just absolutely take off.
Correct.
So getting more guys like this excites me. Matt, do you feel similar?
I'm not as excited about him. And to your point, maybe he grows another pitch. Maybe we develop him. It's just that he's in high A, low A at 22 years old with a 3.98 ERA. Now, again, he may develop into something, and I hope I'm wrong. He smells kind of bullpenny to me, that he's like a fastball slider guy. Maybe you take these things that are not overpowering as a starter, and maybe you convert him into a reliever where they're a little more overpowering. And again, I don't know what will happen with him. I'm glad that he's in on this trade too, because once again, here we go. We just have more arms to throw at the system, and I think that's a wonderful thing. We'll just see on him at 22 years old. Like he's got to develop this kind of quickly here, so we'll see what they do with him.
Yeah, and I wonder too, this is just selfishly, I wish I knew this. Do you think that Heim pick these guys, like him specifically, or does Boston say, how about this? You know what I'm saying? As kind of a throw-in. And there's no way to know that. But I guarantee you, Heim was like, we want Joyker.
Yes.
And Dobbins. Yes. And they're like, all right, well, we'll also give you this as whatever. Or maybe this is like the Spurs or the Patriots. They'd call about one of your players back in the day, and you'd be like, actually, he's off limits.
Yes.
We don't want you to trade with us.
It's like the Moneyball scene. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I just selfishly would want to know, do they really have it locked in this hard where they're like, these 3 guys feel good, we want these 3, or if this was just kind of like you're giving us $8 million, we'll give you something else as well.
I mean, here's the other question, and this has nothing to do with this Willie trade.
Yeah.
What happens? Who are we going to get for Donovan? Who are we going to get for JoJo? We're not going to get anything for Arenado. What if Newt goes? You know what I mean? Like, we could be talking about I'm already excited, but we're thinking like there could be 6 or 7 more prospects here that we're going to potentially get this offseason, and it just turned into, I've used the term tidal wave. I don't know what's bigger than that. Like, knocks the planet off its axis.
Tsunami.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree, and that is something I wanted to end on here was Willie has value. I don't want to say he doesn't. Sonny had value.
Has value.
Of course. Donnie, I think, has more value than both of them, or equivalent to Sonny, just because he's still very young.
I think combined, maybe.
Maybe combined.
Yeah.
It just depends on where he goes.
Correct.
I mean, I've heard Boston. Wow, believe that or not. Shocker.
Yeah.
Mariners,
Guardians.
We talked about there's 30 teams looking for him.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's got to be 29 because we're trying to trade him.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Who's it going to be? And this is another thing I think. There's going to be this mass amount of prospects. Somebody's got to go. We got to promote people. Something's got to happen. There's going to be too many spaces down there, or too many guys and not enough spots to fill.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you get into a situation where you see people come up and you just let them play.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Brewers did with Churio. I know he was a huge talent, but they just let him play.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that happens. I don't know, but I agree. I can't wait till the Donnie shoe drops to see what we get, because it feels like now that Heim has these other two out of the way, this is inevitable. The Willie one felt like if you didn't know if they were going to trade Donovan or this, now that Willie's gone, he said he wanted to stay, that they're gone. 100% sign, seal, deliver. Donnie and Arenado, I have full faith that they'll be gone before spring training. Or
I think so too, and probably Romero as well.
Yep.
And again, there is part of us, we sound so excited, and I think we are, but there is a part of this, and we should just acknowledge this. It sucks. It sucks to trade your good players.
Yep.
It sucks to be in the position that we are. It sucks to lose, and we're going to lose. But think about what we have just done for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. And
we've had the names, and we've had the quote-unquote players, and we haven't gone anywhere or done anything. So let's just out with that model, and let's do exactly what we're doing here. And if we are just riding absolutely on the clouds in 2027, well, we can suffer through 2026. You know, we can do it.
We just don't want to be the Rockies.
No.
We don't want to be the Angels. We don't want to be a team that just wanders in the ether, thinking that they're good or that they're going to be good, and they're not. You just got to tear it down. And thanks, Willie, for everything, pal.
Yes.
Appreciate the prospects on the way out. Go be crazy in Boston. New York,
hit
don't
some
hit
homers.
him,
Yep.
because he's coming at you with whatever device he can get his hand on, and that is what it is.
Yes.
But thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Redbird Rundown, your go-to source for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to subscribe. That is, subscribe and rate for all you new folks. Review the show. It really helps us grow. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube for all the updates. Keep those rally caps on. Let's trade Donnie. See who we get. Let's go Cards.
Come back, Andy.